Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our 1 hour practice. Today's practice, like 5 that have preceded it, is going to focus on one of the chakras. Today's is the third eye chakra. We've been moving up from the root chakra, and we are on number 6, the third eye chakra. Like the others, it has a color associated with it. Today's color is indigo, a very dark blue, like the night, like the midnight sky, which is important because the element is light. And the location of the third eye is characteristically above the brow, but back into the center of the brain at the location of the pineal gland, which is responsible for our reaction to the light and dark cycle. So all those things kind of tie in together. Once again, picture your third eye chakra at that location in the middle of your brain with that spinning wheel of energy in the color indigo, like midnight blue. We are going to use a few props for today's practice. So they're optional. You can get by without the props, but I have a block set up for our practice today. And that's basically just to connect with that third eye part of the body when we're in a fold. So whether it's a wide fold or a standing fold, if you can, we can put the block up on one of its dimensions. Don't forget that a block has 3 dimensions, tall, medium, and small. So we can adjust that to connect the block and the earth to our third eye point on the body. We also are going to use a strap for just one pose, and that is our balance pose. So if you have a strap or a belt, it could be a fabric belt, a leather belt, it could be a scarf, a tie, anything that doesn't stretch. We can use that for our hand to big toe pose. And also we've got some poses on the knees. So if you need a knee pad, I've got one ready there. It could be just a rolled up hand towel or a gardening pad or whatever can cushion your knees. If you're on carpet, maybe you don't even need a knee pad. All right, let's get started. We are going to start with our hand gesture, which brings the thumb and the index finger together on both hands. Draw your elbows into your waist, palms facing up. Close your eyes for a moment and just relax with the word knowledge. So think about that pineal gland in the center of the brain, and think about seeking knowledge, learning, educating, developing. Take one more breath cycle. Release your hands, wiggle out your fingers, shake it out. I'm going to stay close to you for the first few poses. We are going to focus on the eyes because we're talking about the third eye, but let's talk about our regular eyes, the ones that we can see on our face, and let's do a couple poses for the eyes. We don't want to ignore parts of the body in our yoga practice, so the first one is actually going to involve generating some heat with your hands and palming the eyes. So if you're wearing glasses, take them off just for this first pose. I'm just going to tuck them on my shirt, or you can set them on a shelf. And today's cold weather makes this a perfect pose because it's even a little chilly in my sunroom here, even though it is sunny. It's still in the 50s today. So bring your palms together and start to create some friction. Make some heat in your hands. And when you feel that heat has generated, palm the eyes and relax. We're going to do that one more time. Once again, generate some heat. And when you're ready, take that heat to your eyes, palm the eyes, relax. Release your hands, give it a shake. If you want, you can put your glasses back on. Now we're just going to be using the muscles of the eyes to change the direction where we are looking. So let's start with looking up and looking down without moving your face. Kind of when you're at the eye doctor and they tell you to do that same thing while they're inspecting your eyes. We want to do the same thing without moving your head. We just want to move the gaze of the eyes up and down. So look up at the ceiling, look down towards the floor. Look up at the ceiling, down towards the floor. 4 more times. Up and down. Use the muscles of the eyes. Up and down. Last 2. Up and down. Last 1. Up and down. And release to a forward gaze. Now we're going to take that gaze to the right and to the left. Relax the shoulders. Same thing. Don't move the head. Just use the muscles of the eyes. Look right and left and right and left. 4 more times. Right, left, right, left. Last 2. Right, left. Last 1. Right, left. And release to center. Blink it out. Now we're going to change the depth of our gaze. So if your screen is maybe 4 to 6 feet away, that's great. If you've got something on the other side of the room that's maybe 10 feet away, that's good as well. But then we need something close. So let's just use our own finger and bring it just maybe 6 to 8 inches away from our face, right in the center, in front of your nose. Look at your finger, and now look far away. Look at your finger, and far away. Let's do it 4 more times. Close, and far, close, and far. Last 2, close, and far. Last 1, close, and far. Release the hand down, blink it out. We are going to do a blinking motion here. Relax the shoulders. We'll kind of blink in slow motion. We blink all the time. It's natural to blink. But we're going to blink in slow motion 10 times. Blink, release. Blink, blink, release. Blink, release. Blink, release. Blink, release. 5 more. Blink, release. Blink, release. Blink, release, blink, release. Last 1, blink, release. Maybe your eyes feel a little moisture from that pose. That's how my grandson blinks or winks, that tight little squeeze of the eyes. All right, let's finish with 1 more for the eyes. And this is called Dancing Flame. And we don't actually have a dancing flame in our yoga practice today. So we're going to use our imagination. So close your eyes, maintain your balance with your eyes closed, and now visualize on the inside of your eyelids that you're looking at a candle and picture the flame dancing. Just take a few relaxing breath cycles here. Picture the dancing flame flickering on the wick. 1 more breath cycle. And open your eyes, a relaxing eye pose there. Now we're going to go into our spinal warm-up, our normal warm-up. So I'm going to back up so you can see me head to toe. Make the number 11 with your feet. Tennis ball distance between your big toes. And we'll start with elongation. Go at your own pace. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Go at your own pace here. If you want, add a little motion of bending the knees so that you're warming up the hips and thighs and knee joints as well. Let's do 1 more. Elongation as high as you can, this one. And release. Standing cat and cow. Exhale, round your back, bend your knees and hips, tuck your chin. Inhale, reverse the curve, pinch the shoulder blades together, lift the heart. At your own pace. Forward flexion and spinal extension. Standing cat, standing cow. Exaggerate the motion. Pretend you're swimming. You can move those arms. 1 more. And release. Going to lateral flexion warm up. Separate your feet just a tiny bit wider than your hips so you have a stable platform. Let's keep the right hand on the right hip, left hand to the sky. Knees are soft, they're straight but they're soft. And we go into lateral flexion. Don't lean forward, just lean to the side. And we're going to add a static lateral flexion today. Not yet. Let's do 1 more with motion. And the next one we hold. Use your right hand to support you and go a little deeper. One more breath cycle. And lift it up. Same thing, opposite side. Left hand, left thigh, right hand to the sky. And start your lateral flexion. Make the first one small. Ease into it. You can always increase the range of motion, but if you start with the maximum, then you might go too far. Let's do one more with motion, and the next one we hold. Use your left hand to support. Go a little deeper. Breathe. Inhale, lift up, and release. Roll the shoulders back, and we'll finish with rotation. Arms to a T, shoulders relaxed down, engage the abdominal muscles, bear the weight evenly on both feet. Inhale, center, exhale, rotate right. Inhale, center, exhale, rotate left. If it makes you dizzy to turn your head, you don't have to turn your head. You can turn just your shoulder girdle and rib cage. One more each side. Last one. And release. Roll the shoulders back. All right. We're going to go into some folds here, starting with a baby fold, a half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. So bring those feet back to your number 11 with the tennis ball distance between the big toes. Inhale, lift the arms up. Picture your third eye gazing upwards and visualize that indigo ball of energy as you fold from the hips, land your hands on your thighs or your shins, and picture that energy shooting forth from your third eye. Gazing slightly forward. Don't lock out your knees. There's a little softness even though you're feeling the stretch on the backs of the legs. One more breath cycle. Bend both knees and rise back up to mountain pose. Now we're going to go deeper into a forward fold where our hands touch the earth. Here, you could use a prop. So I'll grab a block just so I can show that variation. I've got it on the tall dimension, so I don't have to reach quite so far to get my hands to a supported position. Inhale, lift up. Visualize that indigo ball of energy. Exhale, fold from the hips. This time, if you want, you can come to the half position again, hands to the thighs or shins, or come lower to a prop. Here's the block on a tall dimension, or easing lower, block on the medium, block to the small, or maybe directly to the earth. Bow your head, look at your legs, relax the back of the neck. Wherever you are, if you're comfortable taking your hands off of the prop, whether it's the block or the floor, cup your elbows and go into a gentle ragdoll pose. Gently swaying here. Keep looking at your legs. Relax the back of the neck. And now pause at center and return the hands to the earth or to your prop, either one. And we're going to go into a twist here. So keep a deep bend in your right knee and keep your right hand on the earth. Your left leg is straight and your left arm opens up to the side. Spiraling the chest towards the left, getting a deeper stretch on the left leg and left hip. Return the left arm down, bend both knees, soften into the pose. Keep your left hand on the earth, straighten your right knee, and lift your right arm to the sky, opening your chest towards the right. Breathe. And return that hand down. Soften both knees. And we're going to go into a wide stance here. So use your hands to support. You could be on your block as you step wide. Feet are still parallel. So you're making a giant number 11. We're not rotating the feet. You can use your block again, tall, medium, or small, or bring your hands directly to the earth. Now, if it's accessible to you, you can place your block in the tall dimension and place your third eye to the block.
This allows the head to relax, back of the neck is relaxed. Breathe, elbows are bent. You can hang on to the block to make sure it doesn't move. Push your bottoms away, deepen the stretch. One more breath cycle. You can keep the connection of your head to the block as we change the arms, or you can move the block away. I'm going to move the block away, but you can keep it if you like. And we're going to grab the big toes, taking our arms out to the side. Breathe. A little more engagement of core muscles. We're going to add one more variation here. You can keep your hands on your legs where they are, or if you're comfortable, bring your hands to your low back. Keep bowing the head. One more breath cycle. Return your hands to the earth. If you still have your block underneath your third eye, go ahead and move it off to the side. We're going to add one windmill on each side. Keep your right hand on the earth and send your left arm to the sky. Lift up through that right shoulder. Spiral the chest open to the left. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And we switch. Bring the left hand down. Find your stability through the left hand and then open the right arm to the sky. Spiral the chest towards the right. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And bring the hand down. Heel toe the feet back to a narrow position. Lower your hips and rise all the way up. Roll your shoulders back. And we're going to go into a warrior one, humble warrior sequence. So draw your feet towards the top, skinny end of your mat. And we're going to go into our warrior one, humble warrior, intense side stretch, and then a little bit of core strength. I'm going to be facing sideways to you while we're in our warrior one sequence. And then when we get into the balance portion, then I'll face you directly. So let's face the skinny end of your mat. I'm calling out your right and your left as if you were a mirror image to me. But if you want, you could be facing directly if that's more comfortable for you to see what's going on. Bring your hands to heart center. Roll your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Bear the weight on your right foot. Let your left foot become light and step it back. It could be a small step, a medium step, or a deep step. Drop that heel down. Check out the alignment. You want your heels on a balance beam with your left toes pointing off towards the left. Make sure this right knee is going directly over the second toe. Going into warrior one, push that right shoulder back, feeling that rotation through the center body. Lift your arms forward, bend your elbows, and bring your thumbs to touch your third eye. Lift up through the chest. Keep your shoulders relaxed. One more breath cycle. Then we're going to add some motion here. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift. Third one we hold. Exhale, bow. Release your hands. Come all the way down to humble warrior, letting your fingertips either touch the earth or bringing the hands to the low back. Bow your head and look at the left foot behind you. Humble warrior. Breathe. One more breath cycle. If your hands are on your low back, return them to the earth and straighten your right knee. Going into intense side stretch. If this is too much, you can draw that left foot in an inch or so to make it less intense. Listen to your body. And now we're going to add a little intensity to the stretch. Take your gaze, and instead of looking straight down, Look towards your right hand, moving the chest ever so slightly towards the right. If you want to go more deeply into the stretch, pick up your left hand and place it on top of the right. Intense side stretch. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And return the left hand if it moved. Bend your right knee. Keeping your hands on the earth, we're going to change that left foot. Lift the left heel and rotate the foot. So now all the toes are pointed to the skinny end of your mat. We're setting up for lunge pose. Place your hands on your right thigh. Slowly with balance, lift the chest. Find your balance by shifting your hips up and down. And we're coming into lunge pose. Reach your arms forward and draw your shoulder blades back. We're going to add some balance here. The first one, we're just going to tap the big toe forward and send it right back to lunge. You can continue with that motion. That's plenty of a balance challenge already. But if you want, lift that left knee next time you come forward and back to lunge. Twice more. Knee forward, back to lunge. This last one we're going to hold. Knee forward, hold your balance. If you can, reach down, grab that knee and squeeze the knee into your body. Relax the shoulders. Breathe and release. Good work, my friends. We're going into mountain pose. Now I'm facing you because we're going to add a couple balance poses. So now is the point where we're going to use our strap or belt or scarf or tie. Just long enough so that it can come down to the floor and you can step. Let's do the left foot. Step your left foot into. We were just lifting that left knee, so let's lift that left knee again. You can hold the strap ends with one or both hands. I'm holding it just with my left hand, and just lift and lower the knee a few times. Just like we did when we were going back and forth from lunge, except now we're using the strap as a sling. On the next one, let's leave the knee up in the air, holding our balance. Look at something that doesn't move. And now because we have this strap, let's use the resistance of the strap to straighten the knee, crawling the hands down, and then relaxing the shoulders. Leg extended. And this is hand to big toe pose, except the strap is an extension of our hand. One more breath cycle. And bend that knee. Release the strap. You can set it down for a moment. We're going to go into a warrior 3 supported, and then go into warrior 3. So I'm going to turn to side view again so that I don't kick this furniture behind me. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, your hands could find your block or directly to the floor. Float your left foot up. Bring it up to hip height. Toes are pointing down, foot is flexed, and we're in a supported warrior 3. If you want to go more deeply into this pose, keeping your hands on the floor, you can go into standing splits by lifting that left heel up a little higher, deepening that stretch in the back of the right leg and the inner thigh. If you've lifted higher, come back to hip height. And now we're going to come from this position, supported warrior 3, into balanced warrior 3. Now this is really tough to come up from the floor into warrior 3. So think about maintaining just a tiny connection and then release, and then airplane wings, and then lift up out of the pose. That's a lot harder to come up into warrior 3 instead of just floating back into warrior 3. So if you did that, congratulations. On the second side, remember how it felt. Do it slowly, bringing one finger off at a time, and you'll find that you engage those core muscles a little bit more intensely. So try it on the second side and see if it works. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So let's go ahead and Set up for warrior one on the second side. Coming up to the skinny end of the mat, tall spine, shoulder blades into the back pockets, hands to heart center. Bear the weight on your left foot, let your right heel become light, and step it back. Small, medium, or deep. Drop the heel down, check your heels, set them up on the balance beam. Squeeze a beach ball between your inner thighs, and then throw that left shoulder back. Feel that rotation through the center body. Make sure this left knee is going over your second toe. Bring your arms forward, bend the elbows, and bring your thumbs to touch your third eye once again. Relax the shoulders down. Breathe. Wiggle your toes. Don't grab the mat with your toes. We're going to add our bowing motion here, keeping the third eye connection. Visualize that wheel of energy. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Use your balance. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Third one we hold. Exhale, fold. Release your hands from your third eye. Come all the way down to touch the earth, or bring your hands to your low back. Bow your head. Look at the right foot behind you. Breathe. Humble warrior pose. One more breath cycle. And now if your hands are on your low back, return them to the earth and straighten your left knee. Going into intense side stretch. Once again, you have the option, if you need to take that right foot and scoot it in an inch or so, go ahead and make that adjustment. And now let's add some intensity to the stretch. Turn your gaze towards your left hand. Your chest moves ever so slightly. And if you want to take it one step further, place your right hand on top of your left. One more breath cycle. Return the right hand if you moved it. Bend your left knee. Keep your hands on the earth to give you stability as we set up for lunge. Lift your right heel, rotate the right foot. All the toes are facing the skinny end of your mat. Make sure your feet are separated. They're not on the balance beam now. Bring your hands all the way up to that left thigh. Slowly lift the chest. Find your balance. Sink your hips up and down to maintain your balance. Breathe. Arms forward. Shoulder blades back. First one, we're going to tap the big toe, just so our muscles know what we're doing here. Tap the right big toe forward and step back into lunge. Next 3 times, you can do it the same, or you can add the knee lift. Draw that right knee forward, lift, balance, and send it back to lunge. Second time, lift and balance, back to lunge. Last one we're going to hold, so come forward, lift the knee. If you can, reach down, grab the knee, hug it a little closer, relax the shoulders, breathe, and release. Coming into mountain pose, once again, I'm going to face you this time. We're going to use that strap again as we set up our mountain pose. This time the right foot will be in the strap. We were just lifting that right knee. So we're going to do the same thing with the assistance of our strap. Holding the strap ends in one or both hands. Lift and lower that right foot by bending the knee. Keep your tall spine. One more. And now lift it up and hold. Press firmly through your left foot. Engage the abdominal muscles, and when you're ready, use the resistance of the strap to straighten the leg, crawling the hands further down the strap to get that heel up to hip height. Maybe not, maybe it's a little bit lower here, that's okay. Listen to your body. The goal is hip height, but baby steps are always allowed. One more breath cycle, and release. Go ahead and set the strap or scarf or tie off to the side. We're done with that prop for today's practice, but we're still going to use our block.
We're going to go into those, that supported warrior 3, standing splits again. I'm going to face the skinny end of my mat so you can see this side view. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bringing your hands to touch the earth, or maybe your block if you want. Bear the weight on your left foot and lift your right leg to the sky. Your heel is flexed, your toe is pointing down. You can stay here at hip height or come into a little standing split by extending the leg up higher, bringing the chest closer to the left leg. If you've lifted the heel higher than hip height, bring it back to hip height. Supported warrior 3, and now we're setting up to come into balanced warrior 3. Remember, do it slowly. Take your fingertips and maybe make them 4 or 2. Find your balance, squeeze your navel. See if you can lift up off the earth and make your airplane wings. And release. It was harder on that side for me. It's never totally symmetrical. Good work, my friends. We are going to do one more set of standing poses, and then we're going to make our way down to the mat. I'm facing you again for this set of poses. Make your mountain pose feet, number 11, and draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets. And then make cactus arms. Bending your elbows at the sides, open chest. Breathe. And now we're going to add some motion with the arms here. Exhale, draw the elbows together. Inhale, open and a baby back bend. Exhale, arms forward. Inhale, baby back bend. One more time. Exhale, forward. And inhale, baby back bend. Release and roll the shoulders back. Another opener for the upper body, camel pose. 3 times, changing the hands each time. Make gentle fists, wiggling the fingers, relaxed fists. Take your knuckles to the top of the pelvis, side and back view. But I'm going to face you now. Shoulders down, ribcage up. Inhale, baby back bend. And return. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. If your breath is more shallow or shorter, then take an extra breath cycle. Don't hold your breath. Change the hands. Take your thumbs, top of the pelvis, 4 fingers wrap, side and back view. Rib cage up, shoulders down. Come into your baby back bend. 1 breath cycle. And release. Shake it out. Last one, most support on this one, so maybe challenge yourself with a deeper baby back bend. 4 fingers pointing down at the top of the pelvis, thumbs wrap around the hips, side and back view. Ribcage up, shoulders down, come into your baby back bend, 1 breath cycle, and release. Shake it out. Our next pose is kind of a standing pose, but actually a squatting pose. It's going to bring us down to the mat almost, and then the next pose will be on the mat. So this is the time to move your screen closer to the floor if you want. I'm going to take mine down to a little stool. You could take it directly to the floor or to a stack of books. Once you have your device set up where you want it, go ahead and start to come into a little squat. Bring your hands all the way to the floor and lift your heels. Drawing your chest very close to your thighs. Standing child's pose. Bow your head, crawl your arms forward, open up the back body. Visualize your indigo ball of energy shooting forward towards your hands. 1 more breath cycle. And lower your knees to the mat. We're going to transition to hands and knee poses. Actually, no, we're going to transition to seated poses. My bad. Send your legs forward. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. And then come into a cross-legged pose with your right leg forward of your left. So like in our other sequences, there is reflexology of the feet connected to each chakra. So let's find the one that's connected to the third eye chakra. It's the metatarsal joints. So go ahead and just start giving a little massage, maybe bend each digit as you give a little massage to each toe. Maybe go across a second time. And when you finish, go ahead and swap the legs so that the left leg is forward of the right, and do the same thing. You can use the same hand or the other hand. And just massage each metatarsal joint there. Go through a second time, connecting to your third eye energy. And then release. We're going to come into an open angle fold now. So extend your legs forward. Come to the V shape. And again, we're going to use the option of the block here. So set the block in front of your body. I have it on the tall dimension to start. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones again, because when we open up the legs, we may have changed our support. If you want, you can hold on to the block to make sure it doesn't move. And now start to fold your body, draw the elbows towards the thighs, and if you can, if it's accessible, bring your third eye to connect with your block, supporting your head. Relax the back of the neck. Breathe. The characteristics associated with the third eye is intuition, listening to your inner voice, your dreams. One more breath cycle. And lift up out of your open angle fold. Set your block to the side. Sweep your legs together. We're going to go into eagle fold. Arms forward, right over left. Bend both elbows. Bring those elbows up to shoulder height. And then you can do one of three things with the hands. Rest the hands on the shoulders. Keep the backs of the hands together. Or add the extra wrap to hold your own hand. Keep those elbows at shoulder height for the starting point. Pressing the shoulders down, but lifting the elbows up to shoulder height. And now fold from the waist. Exhale, bow. Draw the elbows to the belly. Inhale, lift back up. Second time, bow. Exhaling. Inhale, lift. Third one, we hold. Exhale, bow. Bow the head. Feel the stretch in the back body and the backs of the legs. Keep breathing. And on your next inhale, lift it all the way back up and release. Roll the shoulders back, draw your right knee in, and then set your right foot against your left inner thigh, bringing your right knee down towards the mat. Maybe it's floating, maybe it touches, whatever works for your body. Don't force it. If it's floating and it wants to stay there, then let it float. Bring your hands below the left knee, draw the elbows down, and reach your third eye towards your toes. In fact, go ahead and touch that third eye spot and then release and feel that connection where you just touched your head, reaching towards your toes. Relax those elbows. Bow the head if you like. Keep your third eye energy, that indigo ball of fire, reaching towards your toes. One more breath cycle. And lift the chest back up as we go into seated four pose. Place the ankle on top of the thigh, hands behind. Recline slightly, bearing a little weight into the hands. And then bend your left knee. Set it up for your body. Low intensity, more intensity, or max intensity of the stretch. You pick. Wiggle the toes on both feet. Lift your third eye towards the sky. Feel the energy, that indigo ball of energy, connecting with the sky. Feel that deep stretch in the right hip. One more breath cycle. Keep your right leg
resting on your left, even as you straighten out your left leg. We're setting up for fire log pose, a deep stretch for the hips. So go ahead and place your foot onto the thigh. And look, we have this little empty space underneath the right knee. The goal is to get the left foot into that space. Use your hands to support you and draw the left foot underneath. As you do that, your right foot might slide a little bit. Maybe it needs to slide all the way onto the calf. The goal is to keep the foot on the knee and have foot on knee, knee on foot. This one I've got a lot of space here because this is my tighter side. Rest your hands on that top leg, relax the shoulders, ease the chest forward just an inch. Deep stretch here, keep it small. Take one more breath cycle. Lift the chest and we're going to go into bound angle pose. So with the feet touching the floor, let the soles of the feet come together. If you want, take your prop, set it right behind your heels, and bow your head. Maybe you need to set it on top of your heels. One more breath cycle. And slowly lift your head up, move your prop out of the way, extend your legs forward. And we're going to go into that sequence on the other side, starting with open angle fold. Come into your V shape. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. Bring your prop back into place. Hold it with your hands so it doesn't slide. Draw the elbows down, fold from the hips, and allow your third eye to connect to your prop. You could use a shoebox here, a cushion, a block, whatever you have. We're not putting a lot of weight, so it doesn't have to be something very strong. It could be even a piece of a food container, a plastic food container that you have in your cupboard. One more breath cycle. And lift the head off of the prop, set the prop to the side, swing your legs together, going into eagle fold. Arms forward, left over right, bend the elbows, and then set your hands in either position 1 or 2 or 3. Elbows start at shoulder height, shoulders relaxing, pressing down, and we're folding from the waist. Inhale, exhale, draw the elbows to the belly, round your back, inhale, lift back up. Second time, exhale, fold, inhale, lift. Third time we hold, exhale, fold, bow the head. Keep breathing. And the next inhale lifts you back up. Release your arms, rolling back. Draw your left knee in and set the left foot against the right inner thigh. And this side, I'm a little bit looser, so I can easily let my knee rest on the earth. But if that's not the case for you, allow it to float. It's okay. Look towards your toes. Bring your hands below the right knee. Draw the elbows down. Touch your third eye spot. Release the touch and imagine that spot you just touched reaching towards your toes. Visualize that indigo ball of energy. If you want, bow your head, but keep the energy reaching towards your toes. One more breath cycle. And inhale, lift the chest back up, setting up for figure 4 pose. Setting your ankle on top of your right thigh, hands behind. Gently recline and bend the right knee. Set up your stretch for your body. Remember, you can make it more intense of a stretch by drawing the hips closer to the heel. Wiggle your toes. Relax your hips. Feel that deep stretch through the left hip. Breathe. Close your eyes if you like. And take one more breath cycle. Keeping that left ankle on the thigh, go ahead and straighten the right knee back out. Move it slightly back so that the foot is on the thigh.
And now we're going to create fire log. Here's our space underneath the left knee. We're going to put our right foot into that space. You can help it with your hand and adjust the position. If you need to, bring this foot over to the calf. But again, the goal is foot on knee, knee on foot. Hands resting on the top leg, shoulders relaxed. Ease the chest forward just an inch or so. Breathe, deep stretch for the hips. Take one more breath cycle. And lift it back up. We're going into bound angle pose. So the outside edges of the feet touch the earth and the soles of the feet touch each other. Once again, if you want, place your prop, your shoebox or your cushion onto your heels. Gently bow and connect your third eye. Take 2 more breath cycles. And then slowly lift up out of the pose, move the prop away, and extend your legs forward. We are going to go into hands and knee poses next. So if you need your knee pad, go ahead and place your knees on the knee pad to come into table pose. Make big stars with your hands as you place your hands onto your mat. And we'll take a couple cat and cow poses here. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, cat. Round your back. Inhale, draw the belly down and shoot your third eye energy forward. Do that again. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. One more time. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And return to neutral spine. Setting up for puppy pose. A nice stretch. Bring your palms to the top of your mat. Lower your head between your arms, ears close to the arms. Lift up through the armpits and then melt the heart. Keep your hips high. Breathe, puppy pose. One more breath cycle. Lift the chest and draw those hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to go into bird dog pose now. So lift up through both shoulders and send your left leg back and then float that heel up to hip height with the foot flexed and the heel at hip height. Lift up through both shoulders, and now we'll add the balance component. If it's accessible to you, maintain the connection of left hand to the mat and reach your right arm forward. Keep lifting up through that left shoulder. Breathe. Imagine your third eye energy shooting forward, giving you balance. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Keep the leg in the air, but put the hand down, and we'll go into bird dog bow. No, bird dog tuck. Let's do tuck today. Tuck the knee in and send the leg back. Twice more. Tuck the leg in and back. Last one, in and back. Bend the knee. Going into tiger pose. Lift up through both shoulders. Adding the balance component. Float your right hand to your low back. Let it just rest on your low back. If it's accessible to you, reach back and capture your tiger tail with your right hand. Breathe. Third eye energy reaching forward. One more breath cycle. Release the hand, release the knee. Take a quick child's pose. We're going to do that sequence on the other side. So pull forward once again. Going into bird dog. Step your right foot back. Flexing the foot, lift the heel up to hip height. Toes are pointing down. Lift up through the shoulders. Balance component, if it's accessible, extend your left arm forward. Keep lifting through that right shoulder. Breathe. Bird dog pose. Send the energy from your third eye forward, giving you balance. Keep the leg in the air, but put the hand back down, and we'll tuck the leg 3 times. Tuck it into the belly. Extend it straight back. Push with the heel. Tuck it in. Push the heel away. One more time. Tuck in. Push the heel away. Bend the knee going into tiger pose here. Keep lifting up through both shoulders. Balance component. Left hand to your low back. If you can, add that intensity by capturing your tiger tail, lifting up through the shoulder, extending your third eye energy forward. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release the knee, release the hand, take a quick child's pose. Roll out your wrists. We're going to add dolphin and dolphin plank, and then we're going to lie on our backs. So pull yourselves forward, back into table once again, but this time bring your elbows down to the earth. Palms are flat. Don't interlace your hands and clasp into a clenched hands position. You want to keep the hands flat. Extend your legs back, pushing your heels away. Create that long board with your body. And we'll go into dolphin 3 times. Energize through your third eye as you lift the hips up and draw your gaze back. Inhale, forward dolphin plank. Exhale, hips up, dolphin. Inhale, forward dolphin plank. Exhale, dolphin. Last time, inhale, forward, energize. Exhale, hips up. Knees down. Take a brief child's pose here. And lift all the way up. Before we go on to our backs, let's do one pose very specific for the third eye here. Also for the next chakra, the crown chakra. But it's rabbit pose. So we're going to stay in our knees. It's a variation of child's pose that connects the head to the mat. So I'm going to actually take off my glasses for this one because the head is very low and I don't want them to fall off. So start to come into your regular child's pose and bring your head all the way to the mat. Bring your hands back to cup your heels and then draw your nose as close as you can to your knees so that the head, the top of the head, is touching the mat. And now on your next inhale, lift your hips, keep your nose close to your knees, rabbit pose. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Release, lift your chest, and we'll come onto our backs. Line all the way down. Hug your knees into your body as you make your way down to the mat. Add a little sway, massage the back body. And then plant your feet flat. Adjust your body. We're going into a bridge sequence here. Palms flat. Knees are separated, but imagine there's a small balloon between your knees. And you're pressing on that balloon. Relax your shoulders and press the backs of the upper arms into the mat. Breathe. Don't let the shoulders draw forward like this. Keep them relaxed backwards and pressing the upper arms into the mat. Let's start with just a little pelvic tilt. Don't bring your hips off the mat yet. Tilt almost, but not quite, and then release. Twice more. Tilt the pelvis, almost lifting, and release. One more time. Keep squeezing your balloon, and release. Now we'll actually lift, moving bridge. Inhale, lift up, press the upper arms into the mat. Exhale, lower down. Let your upper arms give you stability. Second time, inhale, lift up, press the upper arms. Exhale, lower down. Keep pressing the upper arms the entire time. One more time, inhale, lift up, press the upper arms, and lower down. All right, let's take it one step further to a held bridge, and we're going to add an optional intensity of taking one foot off the mat. Press the upper arms, lift your hips up, keep pressing the upper arms. Bear the weight on your right foot, float the left. You can keep the knee bent or straighten it up to the sky. If you want, add 3 hip pulses. 3, 2, 1. Release. You can do those hip pulses with both feet on the mat if you prefer. Press the upper arms. Press the left foot in. Float the right. Bent knee or straight. Hip pulses. 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee. Bring the foot down. Press the upper arms.
and lower your bottoms to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Your spine was in a baby extension during bridge pose, so go ahead and release it with upside down child's pose and a little massage. Pause the motion, and we'll go into Apanasana. Bring your big toes to touch, the insides of the knees to touch, and hands on the tops of the knees. Push away and pull in. Push and pull. Energizing, stimulating the organs of the digestive system. And now that you know what it looks like, you don't need to look at your screen. So let your gaze go towards the ceiling and imagine that indigo ball of energy surrounding your head. Let's add a variation to this pose. Pause with your knees hugged into your chest. And now open the knees to the sides, right to the right, left to the left. Push them away, open. And now close them when they're away from you and then draw them back in. Circling those knees out and around. Now look up at the ceiling again. Visualize your indigo ball of energy. One more circle in this direction and then pause with the knees into the chest. This time keep the knees together as you push away and then open around and into the chest. Continue that motion like you're stirring two pots. Look up at the ceiling. If you want, close your eyes. Visualize that energy. Indigo. One more. And then hug your knees into your chest as tightly as you can. Feel that deeper stretch on the low back. Add a little sway. We're going to go into relaxation now. So bring your feet down to the mat. If you want, keep your knees bent and let them rest against each other. Or straighten your legs out for Shavasana, corpse pose. Palms open to the sky. Any relaxing pose that you like. And now touch your third eye spot one more time with either hand. Press that spot. And then release the hand. And the sensation of touch. Feel that spot that you just touched. Imagine that indigo ball of energy coming from the spot that you just touched. Take a few moments here to relax, to enjoy the benefits of today's practice, to think about your third eye giving you intuition and dreams, your inner voice. Breathe. Once again, picture that ball of energy, that indigo color, the midnight sky. Think of the element of the third eye, the light. Even with your eyes closed, picture again the dancing flame of the candle. Take one more breath cycle here. And we're going to transition back to a seated pose. So you can either do one sit-up to get there, or you can roll to your side, pushing into the earth, and returning to a seated pose. My quote today, we talked about intuition and inner voice. My quote is from Steve Jobs, and he wrote, "Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice." Listen to your intuition, my friends. Listen to your third eye. Bring your hands outside your hips, inhale to the sky, let your thumbs touch your third eye, mind spot, your breath in your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our third eye chakra yoga practice. Have a great week and keep breathing.